It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
And here we go, Thursday, January 12th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Ryan Ermanni, how you doing?
Real fine today, Braylon.
I like
Real
the white
fine.
as always. I always tell you that. I love the white on you. The white looks good. Man, I got to jump to you right now. How you doing, sir? First and foremost.
Oh, I'm good, Bray.
Talk to me about this Tulsa King. So I turned this Tulsa King thing on with Sly, Sylvester Stallone. Obviously, basically, he used to be back in the game back in the day. He's been away 25 years. He gets out, and they basically tell him, there's nothing for you here. You got to go to Tulsa. He has to start it all over again in Tulsa. And now he's acting like it was in 1982 in Tulsa, where things are a lot different. Tell me why you like this show.
Well, I got to be honest. I only watched the first episode because they put it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus. I'm not going to pay any more money for any more freaking channels. So I'm trying to find my way to, get it from someone else, if you know what I mean.
I have Paramount Plus.
But
so
you do. Okay.
I could give you my password.
Okay, there you
Not a problem.
now I'm on it now.
There you go.
But I love Sly as well as Ryan loves Sly.
I love Sly. He's the best of all time. I was just watching it, and it's just so funny. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but I guess I got to tell you something that's funny. So Sly walks in, Sly's trying to figure out how things work, because obviously he's back from the 80s, that's when he was in. He's a real capo. You know the lingo.
Oh yeah,
he's a real
what time
capo. So that's the area he comes from. He did a bit to basically take over, take the hit for the guy, the main guy, his boy.
He wasn't going to rat him out.
Wasn't gonna rat him out. He's legit capo. So he goes to like Tulsa, and he goes into the dispensary, because he's like, wait, you can buy weed? So he pulls in there. He basically he takes over this guy's his
weed
business.
shop.
Yes, but weed's legal.
He takes a piece.
Oh my God.
So he's like, yeah, you gonna give me 20? You give me 20% a month to protect you. He's like, protect me from who? Weed's legal.
Oh my God!
It's actually fun. It's actually fun. It's not. I don't think it's good. I think it's damn funny though.
It's almost like, I feel like Paramount Plus is the cutoff point though. Got the Netflix, got the Disney Plus, got the HBO Max, got the Peacock, got the Prime Video.
I got everything.
I can't get
Hulu.
one more.
I know.
Hulu.
I got Hulu. I can't get one more. Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus. I don't have that either.
Yeah.
Discovery Plus and Paramount Plus have missed the cutoff.
What the hell is
I
Discovery
cannot
Plus?
pay for anything else.
What more do you need on Discovery?
Oh God!
David
Discovery's a great channel. One of my favorite channels.
David Attenborough and Jane Goodall.
Guys, I'm doing something tonight I have not done yet this year.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I am going to the Red Wings game tonight.
Right. There we go.
Red Wings and Leafs. Are you kidding me? Ryan Ermanni is going to be in the building tonight. I am leaving the house.
Are you going to break the streak?
The streak of 9 consecutive wins by the Maple Leafs. I believe that's the longest streak currently that one opponent has over another in the National Hockey League.
And it's 2 of the originals. I might have to join you, man. I might have to just buy a ticket and come down and celebrate.
Yeah, my buddy asked me a couple of times to go to the game, and I've always said no. Yeah. Shocker, I know, right? And finally,
who you now?
Finally, he said, "How about this?" Is about 6 weeks ago. He said, "What about January? What's today? The 13th, 12th. What about January 12th? They play the Leafs." I said, "I'm in."
So you couldn't back out.
So I couldn't back out. I had it in my calendar for 6 weeks.
Hey, tomorrow's Friday the 13th.
That's how I get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Book me
Friday
out.
the 13th tomorrow.
Well, look at that.
First one of the year.
Guys, speaking of Friday the 13th, some wacky stuff might be happening tomorrow. Maybe not. But that's my easiest transition to get to this Jim Harbaugh saga. I don't know if anybody's been following it. If you're a Michigan fan, you probably are.
It's a 2-year saga, by the way.
It is. And it's... I don't want to say that I blame him, because I don't. This is not a commentary against Jim Harbaugh. I guess I am a little bit tired of this. I am. just make the decision already. I kind of feel like that. At the same time, if I was in his spot, I would be doing the exact same thing. Put this up. This is from Brandon Brown. This is a tweet
had him on the show
earlier today. This latest report suggests that Jim Harbaugh was prepared to sign a new contract extension this week, but opted not to because of a disagreement for several reasons, but with AD Ward Manuel. Now, let me put this one up, Braylon.
Yep.
This is from Monday, from Todd J. Anson. He's a venture guy. He's a money guy, trying to do an NIL at Michigan.
Lawyer.
A very significant one.
Okay.
Lawyer. Folks, I worked all 2022 on a large 501c3 nonprofit NIL platform, the winningest team named by Jim to, quote, unlock the sleeping giant of UM, end quote. Plan to create a funded endowment to support NIL. Ward shot it down, would not support our donors sharing their support with our players. That potentially could be the disagreement that Jim Harbaugh has had with Ward Manuel. So where do you put the blame here? Jim Harbaugh is not even the highest paid coach in the Big Ten. Jim Harbaugh is not in the top 10 highest paid coaches in college football. Jim Harbaugh watched Georgia's dominance over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh sees what schools like Alabama and Ohio State are doing. Where does the fault lie here? If we want this Jim Harbaugh saga to stop, is it as simple as the University of Michigan going all in on this big NIL platform? Something along the lines of this.
But this is what I think. Ward and Jim Harbaugh have been locked in step since the inception of NIL. They said this is not a transactional institutional; it's a transformational institution. Correct? That's the language they've been using. They've been locked step. So Ward shutting this down. This is essentially Jim Harbaugh shutting this down. So I don't see that as being the disagreement. Now maybe there's a different disagreement over money. Maybe Jim Harbaugh thought, hey, you know what? I chose to take a pay cut in good faith that you guys would reward me if something happened. Well, guess what happened? I won the Big Ten, I beat Ohio State, and we made it to our first playoff. Then they rewarded him with $7 million a year. Maybe he wasn't happy with that. Maybe he assumed that after another year of doing so, that the bump would happen quicker, that the bump would get to $10 million, that the bump would get to $9 million. The way I look at it is this, Ryan and Monty. Jim Harbaugh made the when Jim Harbaugh first got to Michigan in 2015, he signed one of the highest deals in the country. He was literally he had the third highest contract in the country. And he hadn't even won the Big Ten championship yet. He hadn't won a national championship yet. He was making just under what I want to say, with obviously Nick Saban, and I can't even think who was second because Dabo Swinney didn't have any national championships.
Maybe Jimbo Fisher.
So maybe Jimbo Fisher. So you're talking about 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. He was making legitimately almost what the top guys were making with no Big Ten championship to show for it. With no playoff appearance to show for. Damn sure with no national championship because you got to get to the first two.
And no wins over Ohio State.
No wins over Ohio State. No bowl game wins. He was at that time, he actually had less wins against Michigan State. Now he's back even, but he had less wins against Michigan State. No wins against Ohio State. No wins against the top 10. So he put himself in that position. Oh, by the way, from 2015 to 2021, 7 years, the better part of 7 years, he's collecting what the big dogs are making without even having a conference championship.
Yeah, but he is now, and you know this is a what have you done for me lately league. I mean, Mel Tucker had one good year and got $9.5 million.
He shouldn't have took the pay cut. He shouldn't have taken the pay cut then.
Well, at that point, it was either that or get fired.
Well, then get fired. Because at the end of the day, you took the pay cut. You could have walked away too. You could have said, you know what, it's not working here in Michigan. He knew then he had aspirations to view back to the NFL or peer back behind the curtain and say what's going on over there in the NFL. So with that being said, he could have simply said, you know what, because you said this last year. He was like, I don't know how you take less. Like basically them making me take less is a slap in the face, which I agree with, which he could have easily walked away from the table and said, you know what, based on what's going here, I want to walk away. You took that deal in good faith, and now all of a sudden you have to deal with the consequences. So I'm like, Jim, you put yourself in this position, and I'm also not going to cry for Jim because from 2015 to 2020, when he had done absolutely nothing, he was around the 4th, 5th highest paid coach. I'm not crying for Jim Harbaugh on this matter, at least.
He had to take less. if he wanted to continue to coach here at Michigan. And he couldn't go to the NFL because no one wanted him at that time because he was at the lowest point of his coaching career.
Or could he have taken a break? Because I'm pretty sure he's made enough money between Stanford and Michigan to take a break.
Or could he have bet on himself, taken less to bet on himself, which essentially, how many times have you seen a player take a 1-year contract or take a DJ Chark, for instance, to bet on himself? Yeah. You know, these show me deals. Maybe that $7 million was a show me deal. I mean, I just don't think at this point, after 1 year, okay. After 2 years of beating Ohio State, winning the Big Ten championship, and making the college football playoff, and putting your team in this elite situation like you are, probably, Georgia's number 1, Alabama's number 2, or however you want to flip those. I would say U of M, University of Michigan, is, after those 2 schools, in the best situation you could possibly be in. Show me. Everybody's talking about USC right now, and that's great. Yeah. Show me what USC does in Columbus in November or in Ann Arbor in November. Let me see how tough those guys are on the road in Big Ten country before I go giving them their flowers first.
Let me play devil's advocate on that, because you're absolutely right. I get it. You're 100% correct. But here's the devil's advocate side of that. He went from whatever he went to, which is $8.5 million, $9 million. He went down to He went to $4 million. Okay, that's when he took the pay cut. He went down to $4 million. He made it all back in the incentives or along those lines. Then he goes back to the table. They sit down. They negotiate a deal, and the deal happened to be $7 million. That's what they negotiated going into this season. So you mean to tell me, and this is just a question, devil's advocate once again, after negotiating a deal which got you back up to 7, 1 year after you negotiated down, you do essentially the same thing. You beat Ohio State, you win the Big Ten, you lose in the first round of the semis. Your incentives get you up to $10 million. With incentives this year, he made $10 million. He made $7 million for his salary, $3 million in incentives. Now he's at $10 million. So now you want us to go back to the table a year after we just went back to the table to bump you up again, and you did the same exact thing. With the exception, I guess you could say, because he did win in Columbus. You did the same thing you did last year, so now we got to bump you up even more based off what you did. You did the same thing.
If I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm not coaching at the University of Michigan next year unless I'm the highest paid coach in the Big Ten. And there's no reason why Ryan Day, Mel Tucker, or James Franklin is ahead of. This thing changes every year.
Well, Ryan Day's been to the national championship. Like, even if Michigan could have beaten
Ryan Day's 1 loss away in Ann Arbor next year from being fired.
But Ryan Day's also been to the national championship, and Jim Harbaugh hasn't. If you beat TCU, even that gives you more of an argument when you go talk to Ward this year, because you know what? You got to the next round. Last year you lost in the semis. This year you lost in the semis. You're talking about, let's come back to the table after doing essentially the same exact thing that you did last year. I get it, Ryan Ermanni. He should not have taken the deal to lessen his contract. And to your point now, I would even agree with that. Like, if I was Jim Harbaugh, I'm not coming back to Michigan unless you give me more. But just being on the devil's advocate side of things, you signed a deal, you came back to the table last year, you did the same thing this year that you did last year. Why am I paying you more? Why am I going to pay you more for doing the same thing you did?
Which is win a championship.
It's the Big Ten championship, and the Big Ten sucks.
Well, at Michigan, that's a thing.
Well, we paid you $9 million We paid you $9 million.
Jim Hackett did, not Ward Manuel.
Very true.
More about this coming up next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Oh, Chili Peppers Tanning already? How about that? This early in the day. Let me get out my Chili Peppers Tanning lotions. Australian Gold, Fit Life, and Valor. That's right. You get the Chili Peppers Tanning, 27 locations throughout Metro Detroit. No excuses. You'll find one. There's 2 right here on Woodward Avenue. If you join the Pepper Club, they're going to take great care of you. They're going to save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning. Plus, you get the cleanest salons in the D. They are the darkest tans, the hottest bulbs, the darkest tans, and your vitamin D headquarters, chilipepperstanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Centron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, and they are partnered up with WoodwardSports.com to present to you a limited edition six-pack. That's right. Go to CentronWorld.com/Red Wings. Amazing energy drink. I drink it in the morning, especially the cranberry. It gets you up. It gives you the energy. They're trying to bring back Detroit. So let them drink it. Live it with Centron.
WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey talking about this Jim Harbaugh situation. There was a report out that he was intending to sign an extension earlier this week with Michigan, but there's a disagreement with Ward Manuel over what? We don't know. Is it about NIL? There was a local lawyer, venture guy, that put out on Monday that he tried to form the largest NIL package, and Ward Manuel shot it down. So is that the disagreement? Here's where I'll fault the University of Michigan. Here's
everywhere?
Besides that, here's where I'll fault the University of Michigan.
Everywhere.
Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Jim Harbaugh, Ronnie Bell, Mozzie Smith, insert player, coach, person here. Fletch, JB, we all want to freaking feel appreciated. And you know how you feel appreciated besides a couple of pats on the back?
Compensation.
Money. You want to show me how much you appreciate me? Money. Jim Harbaugh has done something that no coach has done at Michigan in an awful long time, and that is win back-to-back championships in the Big Ten. I believe the last time that was done was in the 70s. Back-to-back outright Big Ten championships. In the 70s that was done.
Ohio State?
No, Michigan won back-to-back championships outright in the 70s, I think, if I've got that date correct. So what I'm saying is, that guy's doing stuff for your program that has not been done in decades, literally decades. So if you want to let him go, I wouldn't let. If I'm Ward Man, I don't let him go. What do you want, Jim? What do you want? Here's the contract offer. I'll make you the highest paid coach in the Big Ten. For sure. Right now, he's the fourth highest paid coach in the Big Ten behind Ryan Day, Mel Tucker, James Franklin, then Jim Harbaugh. That's unacceptable to me.
Agreed.
And so I wouldn't let Jim Harbaugh explore this NFL stuff because he's only exploring it because he doesn't feel appreciated. Whatever Jim Harbaugh wants at Michigan, because football is Michigan.
Yeah.
The University of Michigan is based on the football program. And now you got a president in Santa Ono who, by all accounts, is a sports guy.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet him. He's good.
Great guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Who is really into sports. So that's a positive. You've got all of these things. Jim, what do you want? You want a lifetime contract for what? You tell me what you want, because that's what I would do. That's what I would do if I was Jim Harbaugh. And if you are not willing to go in these big NIL situations, you know what? You ain't reaching this point ever either. If you think some good coach is going to take this job that is not going to give the University of Michigan or put them in a position to compete with Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, well, it ain't going to happen.
You heard Braylon yesterday with the 5 stars. They don't come here. We got 3 stars. 5 stars go to Alabama.
Yeah. So what you have to do in that case,
NIL.
So what you've got to do in that case is really have a coach that knows how to develop players. And you've gotten a proven guy here. I worry that if you let Jim Harbaugh walk, man, this thing, I'm not going to say it's going to go Rich Rod disaster, but you could really be coming up here to a time where it could be a little bit better than a Rich Rod, where you're 7-5, 8-4 is your top. If you're not getting players, and you got Ohio State, and you got Nebraska at Matt Rule, you got USC and UCLA coming in, and you got Penn State doing things over here, you got Wisconsin over here.
A new Wisconsin.
This Big Ten conference is about to be one. And don't forget about Mel Tucker. I make fun of Mel Tucker, but they got money. And they do have a little bit of an attitude over there that, they're not dead yet.
And they're not afraid to use NIL. Like
as much as I knock them and make fun of them and talk coming, I'm not going to say he ain't coming until he ain't coming. But
Michigan State, there's a lot of ways. Michigan State, we know that Mel Tucker is a good coach. At least I know that. I know that they work with the NIL. I know they work with the transfer portal, so they will be back. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and if Jim Harbaugh leaves,
the PETA people are going to be coming after you now.
That's all good. Everybody already is. Shit. Bring it. But there's a lot of ways proverbially to skin a cat, okay? And in doing so, yes, Jim Harbaugh has put Michigan in an elite situation. Jim Harbaugh has put Michigan in a situation where they're one of only 5 teams in terms of elite right now, in terms of places I want to be, in terms of places I want to go, places I want to be a part of. They're one of 5. And I'm not saying they're number 1, but they're in that mix of 5 teams. If Jim leaves, this is like a new day and age. Like, if Jim leaves, it forces Michigan to change. It forces Michigan to become something different. And maybe, who's to say that's not for the better? Who's to say that's not for the better?
Me.
You just say that's not for the better? Because if Jim Harbaugh leaves, now you have to use NIL. Now you have to use younger coaches. Now you have to use what's out there today. Now you have to change a little bit. You got to get off the Michigan, what they are right now. What Michigan is great. But what Michigan is right now is a team that's not getting past the semifinals. They don't believe in the NIL. They don't believe in 5 stars. They don't know how to recruit them. And they don't know how to go after those guys. They are a team that is great in the Big Ten. But guess what? That Big Ten is expanding. That Big Ten is expanding, and the way that they're able to just dance around these teams in the Big Ten that are less than not that good outside of Ohio State, that won't be able to happen when USC jumps into the Big Ten. That won't be able to happen when UCLA jumps into the Big Ten. That won't be able to happen when Oregon and Washington join the Big Ten. They're gonna have to make changes. Now, I don't know where the hang-up is. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh has changed his tune. Maybe Jim Harbaugh wants NIL now. Maybe it is war. I don't know. But if they go their separate ways, that is the one silver lining that I'm looking for, is Michigan opening up to a new horizon in 2023 in the college football landscape.
And that's where we're different, because I feel like if you're not going to open up this world for Jim Harbaugh, you ain't opening it up for Sharon Moore or Mike Hart.
They will not be the coaches.
Or
insert coach here, I got you.
Or insert coach here. And if you are, I can't even. I don't know who comes in there. I don't have a name for you. There isn't one name that I would say. I've been trying to think about this too.
This is why I say that they would have to do that, Ryan Ermanni, is if they parted ways with Jim Harbaugh, they're only going to go after a certain amount of coach, like a certain cachet of coach to replace Jim Harbaugh. It's only a couple names that they have on the short list that they're going to come to. And those coaches are going to tell them, if you guys aren't in the NIL, I'm not coming. I don't care that you guys are Michigan. Yes, it's great. It's great. It's great until you look at the optics of what Michigan is trying to do. They're trying to get to the next round of the playoff. They're trying to compete with Georgia and Alabama. They're trying to eventually compete. Because you know who's coming too, man. It's LSU. They're trying to compete, who, by the way, is number 3 on the 5-star sheet. They're trying to eventually compete with those guys. Those coaches are going to tell them point blank period. The Regents and Ward Manuel, they're going to look, I can't come there and be under the same NIL stuff that you're doing, and you think I can compete with them. Now, if you want me to compete in the Big Ten, fine, I can compete in the Big Ten. But if you want to win national championships, you got to open up the NIL, which is going to make them realize they got to open up the NIL.
If they watch the game on Monday night, they know they're another level down. They just are. Ohio State caught Georgia on a great night. They're a good matchup. Heather Dinich has been calling it all year. And like we all said, a month off, 5 weeks off, Georgia wasn't ready to play that night. Yeah. And Ohio State caught them and should have beat them. But they didn't. And then Georgia said, okay, enough of this crap.
Woke 'em up.
That's enough. You can't beat Georgia. You can't beat Alabama. I'm sorry. You can't beat LSU probably. Throw Florida State. They're coming back. Florida will come back. Miami will come back. All the big names will return. They all will return. And Michigan will stay there with them. But they won't be able to get over the hump unless they open their pocketbooks.
So we'll see whether or not they do that. It is a story that is to be continued. I just think that be careful what you wish for. We have been down this road before as Michigan fans. People wanted Lloyd Carr gone. What Lloyd Carr did at Michigan wasn't good enough. And you saw what happened when Rich Rod came in, who was a very big name at the time, who turned down the Alabama job. Remember, he was a West Virginia coach, got the job at Alabama, says no to Alabama, and then comes to Michigan. Boy, how things would have changed.
Can I say one thing before we go to commercial?
Yeah.
Just know, I didn't say I don't want Jim Harbaugh. I just want the people to know that everything is context. I did not say I don't want Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is the best man for the job. I do want Jim Harbaugh. And what he's done, like Ryan said, is second to none. I'm simply saying, if Jim goes his separate way, then maybe my silver line would hopefully be that they open up the NIL because they're going to have to.
You want Jim Harbaugh back. He's obviously the best person for the job, but you are not ready to, you do not think that is like a, oh my gosh, cover your eyes, a Rich Rod situation is coming like I do.
Exactly. There's hope.
Right, there's hope. Hey, speaking of hope, there is hope when it comes to the Detroit Lions as well. I want to play for you what Brad Holmes said about Dan Campbell. Also, really interesting stat about this is the 33rd straight year that 4 new teams have made the playoffs.
That's amazing.
From a year before.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
33 straight.
So you know what we're going to do? We're going to look ahead to next year's team. If you believe history, 4 teams that did not make the playoffs this year are going to make the playoffs next year. We'll choose some of those teams for you. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys, stay out. That's right, Bray. It is a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you a customized solution from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Winter time in Detroit is always better with comfy foods and comfort foods from Big Boy. Of course, the classic meatloaf and the Cajun chicken Alfredo. Just 2 dishes that you will love. And, of course, for breakfast, you want that stuffed potato pancake. It is back. And those omelets. How about it, huh? How about the potato pancakes, the lumberjack, the Santa Fe garden, or the blockbuster? Stop by and try them all, one at a time, of course, at your local Big Boy.
Big Boy.
He just has a rare elite ability to pull a team out and right the ship. And when you have that, it's God-given, and you just either have it or don't, and he has that. And that's one of the many qualities I think makes him an elite coach.
That was Brad Holmes talking about Dan Campbell, and just we don't have to spend a ton of time on this, guys, but can you just go back to 1-6 and some of the conversations we were having about Dan Campbell? I mean, idiot, is he going to make it through the season? Can you believe it? Now he's just one of the elite coaches in the NFL. I mean, I don't want to go that far, but
he's one of the better coaches in the NFL.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's one of the better coaches. I mean, you look what he did, from the beginning of the season, 1-6, to how they finished 8-2. Just a tremendous turnaround. You got the team to buy into him. He has the offensive coordinator right. Defensive coordinator seems to be right, but we know that he needs more players, so I'm going to give Aaron Glenn the benefit of the doubt and say that he is the right guy for the job. They just needs to get more players, which this draft and this free agency is going to present. Dan Campbell has done a tremendous job. I think that when you can keep your identity in place, you talk about Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh's identity is all over Michigan. It's what he started with. It's what he's wanted to be. It's his identity at Stanford. It's his identity with the San Francisco 49ers. It's the identity that his former coach and the guy he aspires to be, Bo Schembechler, it's what he put in place. Same thing with Dan Campbell. We said we want guys to fight, we want guys to carry, we want guys to play as a team, we want guys to brothers, we want guys that are accountable. We want guys that want to be here. Well, everything that he wants is what the Detroit Lions have shown us in the second half of the season. So hats off to Dan Campbell moving into his third year. I cannot say that he won't be the odds-on favorite to be coach of the year next year. No doubt. Maz, I know you're a big Dan Campbell guy. You know it. I've stuck with him since day one. He's a leader of men. Now, when these teams, and there's 5 jobs open now, there might be a couple of more on the way. You never know who's going to get fired here in the next couple of weeks. I will tell you this. When you do your hiring, and everyone's talking about hiring our offensive coordinator and Ben Johnson, other offensive coordinator. How about D'Amico Ryan, defensive coordinator in San Francisco? All these coordinators. Eric Bieniemy, they've been talking about him for 5 years. A bunch of people. But you want to hire a leader. Dan Campbell was the leader. Yeah. He wasn't a coordinator. Leader of men. He's a leader. You want to follow that guy. Bill Parcells. You want to follow these guys. That's the number one take I get out of Dan Campbell. Everything else is gravy. You hire the best people under you, which he's done, and everything has worked out this year, except they didn't make it in the playoffs. They put themselves too far behind the 8 ball. Yeah. And you put yourself too far behind the 8 ball, and it's the defense. And that's part of that defense is what we talked about going into the season. 3-13-1. You ran it back with those same guys. It's one of those give and take type deals where you wanted him not to spend money. When I say him, I'm talking about Brad Holmes. You want Brad Holmes not to spend money. What was going to happen is the same defense was very, very green and still weren't good. And in the first half of the season, that's what had to happen with that defense. They got better as the season went on, and next year they'll be a lot better. So Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn will get the defense they need next year. Well, if you believe history, the Lions will get better and maybe be one of the teams that makes the playoffs next year. How about this stat? This is from the NFL on Fox. For the 33rd straight year. That's incredible. What a league. What a league. For the 33rd straight year, 4+ non-playoff teams from a year prior made the playoffs. 6 of them this year. 6 playoff teams that did not make it the previous season. Is there a better league in the world than this because of this? It's awesome. That is incredible. The Giants, Vikings, Jags, Ravens, Dolphins, and Chargers did not make the playoffs last year. They made the playoffs this year. So, Fletch, give me some, or JB, give me some music here. You got something to say here, Bray? Yeah, I was going to say, even in my over-analytical mind, I would say 3 of those teams should have made the playoffs last year, but the fact that there's even 3 still is an amazing feat. So if history repeats itself, and there are 4+ teams next year that makes the playoffs, and I apologize for this. I probably should have put a graphic together with the teams that did not make the playoffs, but I'm just going to read them for you, okay? Okay. Detroit, Pittsburgh, Washington, New England, Green Bay, the Jets, Titans, Panthers, Browns, Saints, Falcons, Raiders, Broncos, Rams, Colts, Cardinals, Texans, and Bears. I've got 4 teams written here. Would you like me to go first? You name it. You go ahead. My 4 teams, Braylon, that are going to make the playoffs in 2023. The Lions, the Commanders, the Broncos,
and your Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson is going to come back and play.
I can name 4 off the top.
Okay.
And I don't even have to look at the list. 1 is Detroit Lions, 2 Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's a good one.
They're going to make it. Commanders out, they have no quarterback.
Sam Howell.
You know what? That NFC was. I'd say I like the Broncos.
Yeah.
You know I'm a Russell guy. So
I know you're a Russell guy.
So I like the Broncos in there, the Steelers in there, the Detroit Lions in there, and there's somebody that should have made it this year that's not in it. Oh, the Jets.
Yeah.
The New York Jets.
Jets are quarterback away.
The New York Jets. The only sketchy thing about the Jets, if we jump on them real quick, everybody's talking about who's going there. Is it Derek Carr? By the way, Derek Carr, I would love to have Derek Carr, but that's neither here nor there.
Not me.
He'll do the same thing Matt Stafford did if you put him in the right system.
I don't know about that.
What do you mean you don't know about that?
Well, that's just my opinion.
He can do the same thing Matt Stafford did if you put him in the right
situation. I watched him this year, and he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
That's Josh McDaniels.
Who does he know what the hell to do? The offensive coordinator sucks. Herman Winfrey missed 9 games. Darren Waller missed 9 games. Who's he going to throw the ball to? If you got Devontae Adams getting triple coverage and you got Josh Jacobs, that's all you had. That's all you had for the bad.
You got a good point there.
But with the Jets, if I'm a quarterback, that's a sketchy situation because they fired Mike LaFleur, Matt's brother. They fired him and it wasn't his fault. Like, he has no quarterback. He played with 4 different quarterbacks this year. Breece Hall, who's the best player on offense, got hurt this year. Garrett Wilson didn't show up till week 15. If I'm a quarterback, do I want to go to a team that fired that offensive coordinator? Which means now you're coming in with a brand new coordinator and the guy that has a quick switch and Robert Saleh and Joe Judge. I don't know if I'm taking that job if I'm a quarterback.
Maz?
I'm going to start with the AFC East.
Okay.
Here's my teams. I don't want them to be in there, but I'll pick the Patriots. The Jets have an outside chance. Go to the Central, which is the North. The Steelers. The Browns have an outside chance. In the South, Titans need a quarterback. They can make it. The Colts can have a complete turnaround. And they were one of the worst teams. They dumped this year. Remember, they were going to be a playoff team this year. So I like the Colts a little bit. If you go to the West, the Raiders with the right quarterback.
That's what Fletch and JB said. They texted it to me. You guys can open it. Feel free, man. It's a family show.
All right,
jump in. They said the Raiders with Tom Brady.
NFC East, I got the Commanders. NFC North, I got the Lions. Possibly the Packers if Aaron Rodgers stays. In the South, I don't like anybody. Maybe the Saints could wake up. Maybe the Falcons, Carolina. I don't know. And in the West, nobody that didn't make it will make it. So I gave you 5.
Yeah. Arizona's in a tough spot. Rams are in a tough spot. I think Seattle gets worse next year, not better for whatever reason. Even though you look at Seattle, man, did Seattle screw the Lions this year or what? Not only did Seattle steal the Lions' playoff spot.
They beat them.
Well, they beat them, but they stole the playoff spot.
Yes.
If you look at the draft right now, Seattle's got the 5th pick and Detroit's got the 6th pick because the Seattle won the tiebreaker. Denver wins the tiebreaker over the Rams for being worse.
Isn't that something?
How bad is that? I hate Seattle.
That does suck.
What did Detroit do to Seattle? That's what I
So, Jeremy,
you stole my playoff spot and my draft choice.
Man,
all right, Jeremy, go ahead. Give us your teams.
So I'm on the same boat as you guys. Give me the Lions, the Jets, the Steelers, and then the Raiders, as me and Fletch were texting back and forth.
Yeah, Raiders is a good one.
Fletch, you like the Raiders.
I only like the Raiders if they get Tom Brady.
Yeah. What about Jimmy Garoppolo there for the Raiders? I'm just trying.
Or the Jets.
I mean, Josh McDaniels, the Raiders and Patriots. You know, Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels. Yeah. It feels like they have to have somebody in that New England Patriot way situation, and it's either Brady or Garoppolo in Las Vegas.
It's so funny because Jimmy Garoppolo nor Derek Carr might have to switch their houses. Like, if I'm being honest, if you're the 49ers, would you not take a look at Derek Carr?
I don't think you have to pay a quarterback. I think, and we'll find out in the playoffs, but you've got 2 guys on a rookie deal.
Nice. Like, I like Brock Purdy. I told you, like, I like Brock Purdy, but And when you put him in a situation like that where you don't have to muck it up, like especially coming out of one situation, I think Derek Carr would be perfect a lot of places, but I think he'd be perfect for the 49ers.
It sounds good.
He's not going to mess it up. Like, this is a dude that has consistency on defense. Now you have consistency on offense. You got a tight end. You got a running back, 3 wide receivers. You're not going to mess that up. Like, I think it's a good situation for him, especially after coming from a place where you saw, like, everything was on you. Like, now you're in a spot where you don't have to. But anyway, Jimmy Garoppolo's the Raiders. I don't know. There's something about the Raiders, man. Like, they're kind of like the Chargers where they get injured a lot. It's a lot of injuries. There's always something going on. Like, it's just always something going on with the Raiders that seems to be a little bit more than a quarterback can overcome. Derek Carr wasn't the best quarterback out there, but Jesus couldn't overcome what he had to overcome.
We've thrown just about every team in the National Football League out in this segment. You know who we didn't throw out there? The Chicago Bears.
Right.
The Chicago Bears were, I think, at the start of the season, really our envy. I mean, they started out the year 2-2. They started out 2-1, 2-2, and then obviously they only won one game after the first month of the season. But what in the world has happened in Chicago? I mean, Justin Fields is a really nice player who really didn't have anybody to throw to.
They rebooted.
They have rebooted and rebuilt. And today you saw that Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren has left that position to be the new president of the Chicago Bears. Now, this to me is not a football decision. I did some homework on this. I did not realize, but Kevin Warren, before he came to the Big Ten, was in charge of the Minnesota Vikings stadium, the building of U.S. Bank Stadium.
Gorgeous stadium.
One of the best stadiums in the National Football League. So the Chicago Bears, of course, bought all that land. Where is it?
It's in Arlington Park.
Arlington Park. I always want to say Hyde Park.
About 25 minutes out of the city.
They bought all that land in Arlington Park.
Did you see the proposed $2.2 billion stadium?
You mean the Soldier Field renovation?
Soldier Field Mall, basically.
I
did you see that was their last-ditch effort?
That
did you
was
get a chance to check it out?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, where was that? Yeah, you did.
It's
the new Soldier Field.
Oh, it's the new Soldier Field. Oh, it's the spaceship.
Yeah. No, they're redoing it. They're putting a dome on it, and they're building a city around it.
That was their proposal. That was their proposal.
Right.
They're
Exactly.
trying to keep them from going to Arlington Park.
It's too late.
All the fans were like, "Oh man, this is nice, a nice mall." It's like, wait, I thought we didn't have any money in Chicago. Like, that was their last-ditch effort to try to keep the stadium, because right now the city owns Soldier Field, and now in Arlington Park, the Chicago Bears will own that stadium. They will no longer have to pay rent.
So I think this Kevin Warren going to be the president of the Chicago Bears is only about this stadium that will be
He's their
built
CEO as well, president and CEO.
Right, Arlington Park. Will he bring Jim Harbaugh? That's a name. I mean, you got a new president, maybe you start all over, even though they just hired a general manager last year. Yeah. We'll see. So plenty to get to there. Guys, I want to go around the NFL. We'll do it next, but first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Guys, I got one of the things that I have never done to you. I've never lied to you on the air. I started back on Custom Health Centers this week. I've lost 10 pounds this week already. 10 pounds this week.
Wow, already?
When they say they take the willpower out of weight loss, they take the willpower out of weight loss. Give them a call today, 844-789-THIN. It is a customized approach to weight loss. They've got coaching. They've got supplements. They've got whatever it is that it takes your body to lose weight. Give them a call today, 844-789-THIN. Custom Health Centers.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
3, 2, 1. Matrix Home Solutions is your go-to for any home project. Looking for a new man cave? Well, they have you covered. They are your basement remodel experts. Also, they specialize in bathrooms and kitchens as well. With the A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, why not give them a try? Give them a call today at 888-594-8844, or you can always check them out online at matrixsolutions.com.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch, JB. You guys doing good?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Doing good. I'm over getting my trivia ready.
All right. Oh yeah. It's we are replacing Top 10 Thursdays this week with some Trivia Thursdays.
I'm making sure my questions are good ones.
We'll do that at the top of the hour. Tom Mazawey, a lot of people watch the NFL this year. We'll go around the NFL, my friend.
They certainly did. Before I tell you how many people watched, I wanted to give you a little soundbite from Jamal Williams, who they talked to him when they were cleaning out their lockers earlier this week, and someone asked him the silly question, do you want to come back here to Detroit, Jamal?
He said, do I want to come back? Yeah. Let me think about it. Spent 2 years here. I'm doing great. Do I want to come back? Do I want to come back to more blessings and actually being good? Let me think about that one. That's your answer.
It's better than him.
I need this guy in my life.
He's the leader of the team.
I need him.
He is the unquestioned leader of the football team, Jamal Williams.
I hope they can bring him back. I know he's got to get paid. There's a good running back crop out there this year. I just want to tell you, I'm a fan of Tony Pollard's as well. Can't have everything. The Cowboys will probably sign him and cut Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people. Matter of fact, the Raiders said, if we can't trade Derek Carr, we're going to cut him because you saved that non-guaranteed money that they put out there. You only get a certain portion of that contract in the NFL. That's the downside of an NFL contract. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with Jamal? Hope they bring him back. I told you about, Ryan hinted about how many people watch the NFL this year. How about over 185.5 million people watched NFL games this year? Those are some of the high games. Look what's number 2. The Lions-Bills Thanksgiving Day game. The second most watched game. The only one watched more than that was the game following it, was the Giants and the Cowboys also on Thanksgiving Day.
You know, leave that up for a minute, Fletch. You know what I instantly see? 4 of the top Cowboys. 5 games played, the Dallas Cowboys were involved. That's why they're called America's team.
Facts.
Let me ask you this question. Like, that's absolutely true, but they're put in those spots.
Yes.
So it's like, it's kind of like, yeah, they got the numbers, but they also put in those spots.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's tough because if you look at primetime games that the Chiefs played or the Bills played or, look at all those primetime games the Bengals played. I mean,
this is true.
There's a lot of teams given a lot of opportunity to play.
Look at the teams they're playing, though. I mean, you're playing the Vikings, the Eagles, Green Bay. You're playing teams that looked good this season. It's not like it's just the Cowboys that people are watching those games for.
Historically, they're historical giants. No pun intended. You got the New York Giants. They're a historical team in the NFL. They ain't third most Super Bowls ever. Green Bay is one of the historical NFC teams. So to his point, they're also playing juggernauts as well. But to your point, I agree. They are America's team.
Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. The numbers don't lie.
Did you see 88?
It's just like Michigan, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Top 3 games.
2.
I mean,
Michigan's 2, right?
Well, Michigan, the most watched team every year.
Ohio State was 1. I think Michigan was 2 this year.
88 of the top 100 television shows.
Unbelievable.
Were NFL games.
Every year.
That's pretty damn good.
Every year.
Speaking of this weekend, it's Wild Card Weekend, Super Wild Card Weekend. 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. Here are your announcing teams.
Where's Jack Collinsworth?
No Jack Collinsworth, but we're going to lead off on Fox. Seahawks and the Niners. You get the number 2 team. I love this guy, Joe Davis.
He's really grown on me. I feel like
totally growing up.
I mean, he is, and honestly, I think he's almost better at football than he is at baseball, to be honest with you.
He is.
You know?
He is. He gives you a little bit more excitement. He is very good. The next game's the night game, and I told you, NBC's got 2 games.
Al Michaels is back on NBC?
I hate NBC. I hate him. Al Michaels, they drag his carcass back from Prime, Amazon Prime, and they stick him with Tony Dungy.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the battle of who can stay up during the game.
Now, I love Tony. I love Tony,
awake.
but not on the game. Tony's is in the studio.
Who
Anyway,
you put him with, though? They don't have a roster.
they have nobody.
you can go
Why
get
they have
somebody
a
off the
game?
street.
Huh?
CBS should have that game, and it should be Iron Eagle. He's the second guy.
Yeah.
He should be the guy. Nonetheless, guys like on Fox, they get so wasted. There's so much talent on Fox.
I know.
Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth.
Yeah.
Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth. And then our guy,
Dude, I think Kevin Kugler is
and Mark
so
Sanchez.
good.
Phenomenal. They did the Seattle game on Sunday.
Yeah.
I rewatched that game. They were awesome.
I love that you rewatched the game, by the way. But
Yeah, of
Kevin
course.
Kugler is
he's down.
phenomenal.
And guess what?
down
He's
there.
the 4. He's the 4 team. All right, the next game, you got the Dolphins and Chargers. Next game, Sunday. The leading game will be Dolphins and Bills on CBS. That's Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. Tony! So we're going to get that one. Giants and Vikings, you get the A team for Fox, Burkhardt and Olsen. And then the night game, you get Tirico and Collinsworth, Ravens and Bengals. The Monday night game, you get the Monday night crew, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on ESPN ABC.
You know what is interesting? Because we're a couple of, Maz, you and I, Braylon, not so much, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. You and I are broadcaster guys.
Yep.
We love our broadcasters.
I can't watch a game with a bad broadcaster.
Right.
As I've talked to you guys, I mean, I'm a broadcaster guy too in terms of growing up. Like, that was one of the parts of watching the games. But as I've talked to you guys over the past year and a half, 2 years, like, I'm becoming more and more and more and realizing it, I guess you can say. I know who's calling certain games, and I'm like, that's one I'm going to tune into. Or I'll come off the red zone just to watch certain guys. Like, if I know certain guys are doing certain games,
there you go.
I'll get off the red zone so I can hear those guys do the play call. So I'm getting closer to you guys, but you guys are still the go.
I've kind of come to this realization, though, about announcers, though, too, is you want good announcers to do big games, but you don't watch the game for the announcers, right? And the reason why I say that is because the amount of money these broadcasters are making now, like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, I thought that Monday Night Football schedule was about as weak as I have seen a Monday Night Football
awful.
schedule in a long time.
And they still brought their A game, if you ask me.
Exactly. They did, but I had no interest in the game because the game sucked.
Yep.
So no matter who the broadcasters were, I wasn't sticking around for those games.
I did.
Yeah, sure. And a lot of people did as well, but I'm just talking about my personal...
Do you know the Amazon Thursday night games were so underwhelming? Amazon gave back money to the
NFL?
No, to the commercial, to the
advertisers.
To the advertisers.
Wow.
They gave money back. That's how bad the ratings were, and to me that's going to be a failure.
And
on
again,
Prime. That's a failure.
But again, you pay Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit $20+ million for what?
Garbage.
Because you got it.
Yeah, I mean you got it, but.
Yeah, I know they jacked the market up, and you see guys complain, and that's what Big Jim Nantz was very pissed off, and a lot of those guys are pissed off. Chris Collinsworth, that's why they end up getting more money for them networks. But like Jeff Bezos has a type of money where it don't matter. Like he's like, what y'all need here? Here, just, you got it. Just do it, whatever you need to do. So a lot of times you're gonna see that from Amazon because it's Bezos.
I think you pay those guys that money. Like, are you really gonna give Tom Brady $375 million? But maybe you pay. Well, I think he's going to be doing more than just broadcasting your games. But at least Romo and Nantz, Brady and Burkhardt, and even Tirico and Collinsworth, they will call Super Bowls. So you can make that money up.
Yeah.
I don't think Buck and Aikman, I don't think ESPN ABC has.
Yeah, they get a Super Bowl.
Do they get a Super Bowl?
Yes. They get the next one.
Well, then I stand corrected.
They get next year's.
Then I stand corrected.
That's okay.
That's going to be interesting. How are the views going to be on that?
Well, I think they put it on ABC.
I forgot they get both.
They'll simulcast it on ESPN.
Yeah.
You're right.
Anyway, so that's good. Braylon, I'm looking forward to a Top 10 Thursday coming up. What I want to do next, guys, I want to look at this wild card round, and I want to go through the games and see which team you think, which game you think the likely upset will be, because it's not going to be chalk throughout, right? We don't think there's going to be chalk throughout, but
There usually isn't.
There usually isn't. Who is the most likely team to get an upset this week? We'll do that next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. My friends at Fairway, baby.
It is.
Looking for a way to elevate your dinner? Head to Fairway Packing Company right now, located in Grosse Pointe Woods on Mac. You can go to their website, too, fairwaypacking.com. They ship anywhere, anytime. You visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Family owned and operated since 1956. You want to impress your friends? How about a dry-aged Wagyu tomahawk steak? How about having a family party? What about a burrata blend burger or an award-winning Chop House steaks? If you go to one of the great steakhouses in the area, chances are they are serving you Fairway steaks, Fairway Packing meat. You can get your own. Fairway Packing Company, sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection. Ooh-wee.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Be sure to check out Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose a 1-to-1 effective date. Swiss can make sure you have the proper coverage. In fact, I know Swiss can make sure because I know my man Mark over at Swiss Insurance Group. So guess what? Give Swiss Insurance Group, give them a chat. They get it right.
Oh, we are doing. Hey, this
hey, JB.
What's going on, everybody?
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I'm here to talk to you guys about the Monroe Street Midway. Yes, the holidays might be over, but the Midway is still going on strong. You got to get down there. You got to check it out. They've got the giant Arctic slide, the winter bumper cars, the indoor arcade. But if none of that is for you, they always have food down there. So go down there and check out the food. They are serving up burgers, pierogies, homemade chili, the chicken sandwiches, and mac and cheese bites. I think I need to get in on these mac and cheese bites as soon as possible. But coming soon, we have the Woodward Sports Winter Olympics.
Winter Olympics!
Yes, you'll be able to compete with the likes of Darren McCarty, Braylon Edwards, Adam Baydoun, Ryan Ermanni. Maz is coming too as well. Maz, you going to be down there?
Of course.
All right. Also, the heavyweights will be down there as well. And you know what? The rest of the Woodward Sports family will be down there to compete as well in the Monroe Street Midway Games. So check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com for more fun on the Monroe Street Midway.
Midway.
Let's do it.
Hey, gang. Top of hour number 2. Right now, 3 o'clock on the button. If you are watching live on woodwardsports.com, if you're watching live on fox2detroit.com, or However you're watching, listening, we certainly appreciate it. If you're watching on your own time, thanks for being along with us. Everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing over there, Bray?
I'm good, man.
What you got going on?
Nothing, man. I'm trying to work on my personality, man.
Oh.
I'm trying to bring the personality out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it gets suppressed. It's just covering the NFL, covering the NBA, covering college football, and just trying to bring knowledge and trying to bring the heat. Got to bring more of the personality out.
You got a lot to say.
True, but I don't want it to all be stiff, if you will.
Yeah. We're all, I was having a conversation. I was having a conversation earlier with somebody.
Try to mix it in a little bit.
I was having a conversation with somebody. It's somebody, I'll never tell you who it is, but it's somebody that we were talking about just takes themselves way too seriously. Yeah. And I always get a kick out of that. You know what I mean? When people take themselves, being self-deprecating.
People know.
Yeah, being self-deprecating is different. We were having this conversation on my Fox show that I do.
You do a show?
Yeah, it's called The Nine.
Oh, The Nine.
Being self-deprecating and being self-hating.
Yeah,
those are two different things.
Yeah,
I like self-deprecating. You, Maz, are the epitome of self-deprecating.
I was born to self-deprecate.
You know what I mean? It's very good. I think most people like it when you're a little self-deprecating.
I can't help myself.
Good for you, Braylon.
Yeah, for sure.
Good for you. Do you have that? I want to put this up, actually, just before we get back into sports. It's kind of sports-related. Remember that kid from the meme? This kid over here on the left?
So, I'll let you tell. Yes, I do remember. Go ahead.
Okay, that's him now on the right, all grown up. From memes to dreams.
Wow.
That's his Twitter. He is a college football player, offensive lineman at Lake Erie Football, the Storm. So that little kid,
they won championship.
That was on the meme is now a member of the Lake Erie football team, college football player, number 55. He's got a deal with Popeyes Chicken, NIL deal with Popeyes.
It's funny that you bring that up, that meme. And the reason why I say it's funny, because that's how you know we're getting older.
Yeah.
Because that internet era, like the meme era, like the Vines.
Started with him.
I was just about to say, like the Vines and then the memes. Like those kids are getting older. Like the little kid with the fist, like the little kid with the sprouty hair and the fist. Like that kid's like in high school now. Like this kid was Terrio. Remember Terrio back in the day? Terrio.
Danny Terrio?
Oh, kill him the whole night. Terrio's about
kill him.
Yeah, like Terrio's like a sophomore in high school now. Like that's how you know we're getting older, because all these Vine kids, all these meme kids, these kids are like in high school and college now, man. Where'd the time go?
Oh man, it is something, man. It's like the kid in Jerry. I mean, it's way dated, but the kid in Jerry Maguire,
the big head kid,
the human head weighs 8 pounds. PJ, how you doing, man? Look at that, PJ Swain, former Michigan player.
Oh, Quiner.
Yeah, Quiner.
PJ Quiner.
Yeah.
And also, is that PJ Quiner?
Yeah, that's PJ Quiner.
Yeah, PJ Quiner. That's my dude.
He's getting his hair done?
PJ Quiner used to hang out. We used to be PJ Quiner. He used to be Benny Jopru.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know that group.
Oh, yeah.
They were bad, man.
I was messing around with that group.
Joe Scroy. But the other one was the kid from The Sixth Sense, Cole Hauser.
Yes.
That's another one. Like I remember I saw him in
Cole Hauser was in The Sixth Sense?
That's the little kid.
He's the little kid.
He's in what do you call it?
I see dead people.
No, Cole Hauser is I know who you're talking about.
Cole Hauser's in Yellowstone.
Yes, not Cole Hauser, but it's Cole something. But he's the one that says I see dead people, the little boy that
Okay.
So he's like the youngest kid to ever get nominated for an Oscar. But like he was an Entourage.
What's his name? Joel something?
Joe Haley Osment.
Yes, I hated him in Entourage. Oh my God.
But when he showed up in Entourage, I was like, I've seen this big head kid before. I was like, oh, this is the dude from The Sixth Sense.
And he played such a douche.
He's the youngest.
Total douchebag.
He was the youngest nominee for best actor in a picture ever.
Oh my gosh, this Joel Haley, Joel Osment is.
That's him.
He's a big dude now.
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
A lot of deals.
Oh man, damn. Sorry guys.
Okay, can I railroad you a minute?
Please.
Oh wow.
Did you guys see?
It's more fun that way.
On Monday, the top 25 of college football. I didn't say train.
Oh.
The top 25 of college football came out.
Yes.
And remember I told you 8 voters voted Michigan behind Ohio State?
Yes.
Dumb.
How would you like to look at head coach of Pittsburgh, Pat Narduzzi's ballot?
He was one of them.
Look where Pat Narduzzi put Michigan.
6th. Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee, TCU. Narduzzi, man.
Pat Narduzzi.
I'm surprised he doesn't have Michigan State ranked like 15th or something like that.
Is that unbelievable?
You know what's funny about
Thanks to Woods Football for that tweet.
It's so funny because I don't have a
6th.
Yeah, no. They're not 2. Just because they match up well with Georgia.
Right.
They got their butts kicked at home by Michigan. You cannot put them above Michigan. It wasn't like a 35-31 game, last-second touchdown. It was a total butt-whooping at Columbus.
This is what Michigan's been going through for years.
This is why Michigan split a national championship in 97.
Phil Fulmer.
Yeah.
This is Phil Fulmer's break.
This is the revenge of Peyton Manning.
Exactly. Phil Fulmer did the same thing. Hey.
That's something, man. I mean, if you want to put him 4th, okay. 6th.
But when people ask us about the hate, they always think it's Michigan and blah blah blah. But this is what we're talking about. Like that's what typically goes on. Like, get over it.
That's MSU hate to the max.
You just worry about keeping your players at Pitt. How about that?
Let's do that. Hey, Matt, before we get to the before we do the wild card games, why don't we finish up the NFL wrap a little bit, because that way we can have some time before a break.
I got a little quiz question for you guys. Braylon?
It's not trivia time yet, though,
This one's for you.
Okay.
Name the last rookie quarterback to win a wild card game. I'll give you a hint. It was 10 years ago.
What are we in, 2023?
And it's a quarterback that you know and love.
Rookie to win a wild card. RG3?
No.
Oh, he didn't win a wild card.
You really love this guy.
Best quarterback you ever played with.
For real?
Even if it was preseason.
Brady Quinn? Are you talking about? Who the hell did I play? Oh, Russell?
Yeah.
Shoot, I was that year.
Yeah.
You did say 10 years ago. I was on that team.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
The last rookie quarterback to win a game. Here they are. Check these out.
Was Russell?
I was thinking Mark Sanchez, actually.
He's up there.
I was in that game.
Yes. You're in 2 of those games.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Is that great?
That up.
2. Yeah, you're right.
Isn't that something?
Wow. Yeah. Sean King in 1999. I like Sean King.
I was in the league for all of these.
Look at that, right?
Sean King was good. I
know you twice on the list of a rookie quarterback winning a game, and that brings up to Brock Purdy.
Now you see why my NFL career is so short.
Yeah. If you only had a quarterback.
But this is great. Look, keep talking about Brock Purdy. The thing about it is, as much as we make it about Christian McCaffrey, as much as we make it about Deebo Samuel and Kittle and Ayuk, which are great players, you make it about that defense, which is lights out. And Brock Purdy is the guy, man. 4 years, pro-style offense, has that leadership quality about him. Like, sometimes it goes for naught. He's also not a young guy as well. Like, when you start for 4 years, 4-year captain, 4-year starter in a pro-style offense, I think this guy has a lot more than meets the eye. And that Mr. Irrelevant stuff, that's that chip on his shoulder that Mike White plays with as well.
Yeah.
Expect some good stuff out of him this Saturday.
Hey, Skylar Thompson's another rookie that might get a start against Buffalo with Miami.
Oh, yeah. Miami.
Don't know that, so there might be 2 rookies.
What a situation that is. I just can't get that out of my head. No pun intended. What's going on with Tua in Miami? I can't.
2 years ago in the NFL, he'd be playing. 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Maybe last year he'd be playing.
You got anything else there, Maz?
Oh, yeah.
All right, go for it. Go for it. Give me one more.
All right. Let's see. I have Wild Card Weekend. That one.
Oh, never mind. I thought you legitimately had some.
Okay. I do have one. Derek Carr.
There we go.
Penned a little letter on Twitter and Instagram today, and I probably should have printed it for you.
Yeah.
I can read it. It says, I once said that if I'm not a Raider, I would rather be at home, and I meant that. But I never envisioned it ending like this. That fire burning inside of me to win a championship still rages, a fire no man can extinguish, only God. So I look forward to a new city and a new team who, no matter the circumstance, will get everything I have. Winning a championship is what I've always wanted and what I will continue to work towards. He's a very motivated player, and I don't know where the perfect fit is for Derek Carr, but I do think that Derek Carr is you can win a championship with Derek Carr. He's not a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen guy.
But who is?
It's going to have to be the right situation, just like Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford went 12 years without winning a playoff game. You put him in the right situation, and he wins a Super Bowl first crack at it. So I like Derek Carr. I think he could be a good quarterback. Is it Tampa? Is it New Orleans? Is it the Jets? Is it Miami? There's going to be plenty spots out there.
San Francisco.
Is it San Francisco? There's going to be plenty spots out there that are going to make him an ultimate priority. Outside of Brady and Rodgers, it'll be Derek Carr.
Two things. Thing one, Derek Carr, if he goes to San Francisco, he doesn't even have to change his location in terms of where his house is located. I've been out there in the Bay Area. I played for 49ers. He can keep the same house. The interesting thing is for that to happen, then Brock Purdy's got to lose week 1. Or they got to lose week 2 in bad fashion, where you got to be able to look and say, you know what, we have everything except the quarterback. That's how that happens. Thing 2, a lot of people were upset that Derek Carr turned to Twitter or turned to social media as opposed to having a as opposed to having a press conference in Vegas, as opposed to doing it that way. And to my thoughts are these on that. Like, you got a guy that was always there as a leader, was always there at the podium when everything was going on. Like, who's the guy that called? Derek Carr's most memorable moment isn't even on the football field. Mm-hmm. It's what he did when he had to go to that press conference after John Gruden got fired. For him to always be the guy that you guys leaned on, for him to always be there, sure, his football career didn't go exactly like you guys wanted it to on the field, but he did nothing but respect the program, respect the franchise. For them to get rid of him the way they did, I would have penned my letter just like that too. I wouldn't have done a press conference. I wouldn't have done anything like that. That's how they treated him. That's how I would have walked out the door as well. And I'm still pissed that they did that to him. Man, it's not fake piss. It's because I understand what it means to give your all to an organization. For them just to, boop, we'll see you later. Like, that was disrespect. And Josh McDaniels, he should catch a lot of flack for that.
As I told you, the Raiders will cut him if they cannot find a trade partner.
I don't mind all that stuff. Like, I get that. You definitely should move on if you can cut. We were talking about potentially cutting Jared Goff 9 weeks ago. It was like, hey, we cut him. We only have to pay him 10 and we get to save 20. I get that part, but the way they pushed him out the door,
I think the hardest part about being like an employee of anything and,
potential to get fired.
Well, the business that we're in, the business that we're in the media, I mean, it's we're just a number as well. But as a professional athlete, I mean, to be fired for essentially how much money you make, it's a very tough pill to swallow. You know what I mean? Because you think you're doing a good job, you think you're giving it your all, you think you're contributing, and your employer doesn't see it that way. It's a very difficult spot to be in.
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right, let's take a look at Wild Card Weekend. We'll do it next, but first a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health as well as substance abuse. Their new podcast, this is the S word, and S word stands for stigma because they are trying to destigmatize substance abuse, destigmatize mental health. It's okay to not be okay, but when you're not okay, where do you go to get the information? Where do you go to find out? What do you do? Where do you go to help somebody else? Well, you go to thesportsma.com. Sham Jordan and the NFL Alumni Association, they do an amazing job of providing you content, information, and conversations so that you can know what's going on. Thesportsma.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Woodward Sports loves lobster. What better way to get your lobster fix other than Cousins Maine Lobster, Cousins-MaineLobster.com. With 2 trucks rolling around Detroit, you never know where they're going to be. That's why you got to get on their website right now. Lobsters, Cousins-MaineLobster.com. Get that schedule and download that app so you can enjoy all that delicious lobster. Of course, lobster with that butter on it. How about that lobster mac and cheese? The lobster grilled cheese.
So
lobster
good.
bisque,
Oh, my gosh.
so much more. And they've been here at Woodward, we've told you. And they were a smash hit. They might be in your neighborhood. Check out that schedule and call them. Get them to your place. You'll be the most popular neighbor in your neighborhood. CousInsMainLobster.com.
.com. I just put my phone up to the QR code there. And
did it work?
Yeah, absolutely. It takes you right to CousinsMainLobster.com. The internet isn't working especially great in the studio, but once I get better internet, I will find out where Cousins' Main Lobster Truck is, because that place was awesome. Guys, we talked about Jim Harbaugh earlier in the show. First 30 minutes of the show was about Jim Harbaugh and the University of Michigan. We invite you to rewind if you want that content. Feel free. First 30 minutes, Jim Harbaugh related. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Is he at fault? Are the University of Michigan at fault for the way this thing has been dragging out seemingly the last 2 years? We're going to talk about NFL wildcard weekend now. Braylon's got trivia coming up in the next segment, but I want to put the games up for you. Which wildcard team has the best chance to win this week? And by wildcard team, I'm talking about Dallas, New York, and Seattle in the NFC. In the AFC, talking about the Chargers, the Ravens, and the Dolphins. So 6 wild card teams. Braylon, I'll come to you first. Out of these 3 teams, 6 teams really, 6 matchups, 3 in the NFC, 3 in the AFC. Is there a wild card team that you say, you know what, that's the team that's going to pull the upset?
Yeah, I had to look at the whole schedule. You just got teams and not necessarily who they're playing.
Well, I've got Seattle. Seattle plays the 49ers.
There we go. Thanks, Fletch. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. I mean, the Chargers, obviously, the Chargers should be the Jaguars, but I'm actually going with the Jaguars. So if we're going to say I'm going with Jaguars, that's an upset.
Jags beat them earlier in the year by like 25 points.
They killed them. The Chargers are a 1.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
So Jaguars.
Yeah.
So I'm going Jaguars. I'm going who's favored in the Giants and Vikings? Who's favored in that
3
game?
points.
Minnesota
Vikings.
by 3.
Giants can be upset in that game. So.
I mean, the Ravens are a 10-point underdog.
The biggest, to answer your question, I'm saying Jaguars. Jaguars are the
but
team.
Jacksonville's a division champion, so it would be the Chargers as the wild card team that wins.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, Chargers then.
Okay, Chargers.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Giants, Maz. I think the Giants have a real opportunity to win this football game at Minnesota.
I watched that game last
You've
night.
got 2 teams going in completely different directions. Minnesota, they have 13 wins, but all the momentum is against the Vikings. I mean, they had a game against the Bears at the end of the season that was good. Well, I mean, I guess they
Here's the thing
won 3 of their last 5 games.
Here's the thing with almost wins, and I know this is different, but I'll relate to this though. In 2002, the Ohio State Buckeyes almost lost every game they played that year, and they won the national championship. Like that battle tests you sometimes. Like that battle, they should have lost to Cincinnati. Cincinnati had a goal line. Like Cincinnati had the ball on the 2-yard line with 4 downs and 4 cracks at it. They didn't get in. Purdue goes to overtime. They didn't beat them. Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan. The list goes on, but they won. They won. That battle test you. I think with Minnesota, it's the same thing. Their defense hasn't necessarily gotten all the way around. I think that's the biggest holdup on them is the defense. They're trying to figure out. They got 2 guys that are great, Hendricks and Zadarius Smith on the outside. They're great. The secondary hasn't come together. The Vikings are a good team, though. That offense, my biggest take with the Giants, biggest question I keep asking is, like, when it's 3rd and 7, who the hell am I throwing the ball to if I'm Daniel Jones? Well, I'm going to run the ball. We're going to pray for Saquon Barkley. Like, I watched the game last night. I watched the game 2 weeks ago. Saquon Barkley got like 9 carries and passes in a row. I'm like, what are they going to do when they need points? If Minnesota jumps out with Justin Jefferson, and
they shut him down the last game. He did get 1 touchdown.
This is the if. This is the if. If Minnesota jumps out with Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hockenson and Adam Thielen and K.J. Osborne, who just had 140 yards last weekend, and Dalvin Cook and Matthias, like if they jump out there to a 14-point lead or 17-point lead, how the hell are the Giants going to come back from behind? That's my biggest nervousness with the Giants.
I'll tell you this real quick, though. Obviously, the Bucks and Cowboys on Monday night, I really want to see that game. But of the 5 games this weekend, there isn't a game I'm more excited to see that is appointment viewing for me. Obviously, you watch them all.
Right.
But the one that is appointment viewing for me is the Giants and Vikings, because I truly believe the Vikings. I've hated the Vikings all year long. I've hated their quarterback, and a part of me is rooting against them to be right in this situation. But I'm going with the Giants in that one. I think they're the wild card team that is most likely to win. I guess you could say.
Based on what, though? Like you keep saying it's because the Vikings struggled all year, but they still have 13.
Just a gut feeling.
Okay.
Gut feeling.
Okay.
You know, I mean, and again, we've done this before. The best roster, the best team on any given Sunday doesn't win the game.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
But I can't even name you anybody on offense for the Giants. I can name you Daniel
Saquon
Jones,
Barkley,
and that's it.
Richie James, Darius Slayton,
Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney plays for the Chiefs now. They got rid of him. Like that's my big thing. Like
former first round pick a year and a half ago.
The big thing with them is they have Saquon and they have Daniel Jones. Like
and somehow they're doing it though.
Defense. They definitely
Kayvon Thibodeau.
But when you look at the season before the season was scripted, you showed me the teams that had the easiest schedule. The Giants were up there.
Well, that changed. That changed as the season went on.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Last night I watched that game again.
Yeah.
There was a Christmas Eve game. They had it on NFL Network. I watched the whole damn thing.
27-24.
Yeah, it was a last-second 61-yard field goal by Greg Joseph to win that game. Daniel Jones, he did well. He did throw a bad interception down in Viking territory.
Yeah.
Other than that, he did well. And Saquon, like you said, they were feeding him the rock. Matter of fact, they went on 4th and 4 late in the game. And guess what they did? They ran Saquon, and he ran it in from 30 yards out for a touchdown to tie that game after they hit their tight end, Daniel Bullinger. And then Vikings came down, and they got a good play to, guess who? Justin Jefferson. But I'll tell you, Kirk Cousins played excellent, and the Giants were rushing the hell out of him. He stood in that pocket. He took a beating in that game. I'm telling you, this is, like Ryan said, this is going to be a hell of a game. And watch for Kenny Golladay. He broke the streak last week. Finally caught a touchdown pass. And I saw Saquon and the rest of those teammates gather around him, lift him up. I just believe that maybe Kenny Golladay can be a wild card in this game. And I like that game. But my pick, I like Dallas this week. I know everyone is on Tampa. I like the Cowboys. I just like them. They're 0-7. Brady owns them. Dallas has lost 7 in a row to Tampa Bay. 7 in a row on the road. They're on the road.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's 8-0 against them. Every money is going to be on the Buccaneers, and I'm taking the Cowboys.
It might be the case. We'll see. I mean, turnovers, obviously we talk about turnovers in football all the time. Never more important than protecting the football in the playoffs, and that's something that Dak Prescott has not done over the last 2 months of the season.
He has stunk.
Tampa Bay Bucks defense versus Dak Prescott, that could get ugly, so we'll see. If you take away the run and Dak Prescott is forced to beat you, can he? We will find out.
Hopefully the Dallas Cowboys don't take. See, the problem is they take the run for themselves. Like if the Dallas Cowboys are smart, you got to run the ball. Like it's no need.
Both of them.
It's exactly. It's when they were doing that early on in the year. When they have success, that's when they win. When they want to go away from it, they want to see how strong Dak's arm is. When they're trying to get that $75 million up out of him, that's when you get 15 touchdowns and 5 pick sixes in the last 8 weeks.
Let Pollard and Zeke go 100 each.
It's nothing wrong with it being ugly. Like that's what Jerry Jones doesn't understand. It's nothing wrong with it being ugly. Back in the day, Emmitt Smith ran the ball all day. Like Troy Aikman, he had 189 yards and they win the game. Sometimes it can be ugly as long as you're winning.
If they lose this game, Sean Payton is the head coach of the Cowboys.
I disagree.
Yeah, I was gonna say of those 12 teams that are playing this weekend, 3 coaches are gonna be fired.
Yeah,
I think Staley's gonna be fired. Because I think Jacksonville will win.
Right.
I think McCarthy will be fired because Tampa Bay will win. And then I think Bowles will get fired the next week.
Yeah,
Todd Bowles.
Oh, yeah.
I think Bowles is fired. Here's the question though: like, will McCarthy get fired? Because McCarthy's won 12 games this year. Last year he won 12. Jerry Jones likes to control everything. Sean Payton is not gonna go. to the Cowboys, because that's too much control for Jerry Jones. Especially, I could
100%
see that.
right. You're 100% right. You're 100% right about that.
Like,
not 99% right. 100%
if you're Jerry Jones,
right.
you're like, I pay this man $3 million and he can't say anything, and we're 12 wins a year.
Yeah.
Well, why fire him?
Right. Guys, we're going to take a break. It is Trivia Thursday with Braylon. We'll do it next. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
Oh, yeah, Foley. Hold on. Here we go. Here's my pin. The Folding Warehouse. It's bowling night tonight for me. It'd be a lot easier for me to throw a football down and maybe get a 300 game. Not really. It's really hard. Anyway, Folding Warehouse. What a great game. Football and bowling together. 2 ways to play. $12, unlimited open play. You could go away in the open and you get kicked out when they close the door. Chris Hudd'll take it easy on you. He'll just say, hey, I'm closing the doors. You got to leave. Or you can have your own private lane reservation, 2 hours. And it runs you less than $10 a man because you could put 10 or 12
less
people
than $10?
Yes, $120 for 2 hours. Any drink you want. They got multiple full bars, over 100 beers on their menu, and the $2 mystery beer machine. How about some food? Bring your own in or have it delivered. Get your fold on. Do it today. FoldingWarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh, hey, what's going on, JB?
Nothing much. JB here letting you know about Planet Fitness and how there are official studio sponsors here at Woodward Sports. But they're also home to the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere for just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10 a month. Or upgrade to the black card for unlimited guest privileges, the hydro massage, and so much more in club. Join in club today or check them out at planetfitness.com.
.com. Look at that. Hey, everybody. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. It is one of our favorite parts of the week. It is Top 10 Thursday, but we're doing something a little different today, and I kind of like the way we're doing this. It is now becoming Trivia Thursday.
It is, right?
We'll do our pick segment tomorrow. We'll do Fill in the Blank Friday, but first, it is Braylon Edwards presenting Trivia Thursday.
Check this out. Shout out to Fletch. Look at the graphics right here. Trivia with number 1. He convinced me out of the 17. I think the number 1 does look a lot better. See JB right there, like he's thinking, he's deep in thought. Ryan.
I look like a total douchebag in this picture, by the way. I need new photos.
Maz got the graphic like the old school WWE pictures in like the 80s.
Where's Big Dude? Where's Justin?
Right there.
Get Justin out here. I need a new photo.
We can talk after.
A new photo. It looked like a total douchebag.
That's when we first started. That's in the beginning. That's not even this year. That's
400 pounds.
I don't have a haircut. What are you talking about? I don't even have a haircut.
Oh, you might have just come in off the golf day.
Oh, that's always. In summer, always. Let's get into this trivia. I feel like often the times we do trivia, we do like, it's the same trivia, same name, same trivia, same people, same thing. I said let's talk about Detroit. Let's take it back in Detroit. Let's go back and talk about the franchises and their inception, their inaugural years, and then even further back. So here we go. All these questions will be about the 4 major franchises that city of Detroit has. That is the Lions, that is the Red Wings, that is the Tigers and the Pistons. And question 1.
Okay.
Which franchise, okay, from
We
inception.
got to raise our hand, right?
Yes, I got to see it. I got to see it. I got peripheral. So, which franchise from inception to championship was the fastest of the four? Tom Mazawey.
Tigers.
You're absolutely incorrect.
Had to be the Red Wings.
You are close, but incorrect. So by process of elimination, you got a 50-50 chance.
Well, wasn't the Lions?
It technically was Lions.
Really?
Detroit Lions. They were the Portsmouth. But they didn't win in there. The Portsmouth Lions, 1930.
Yep.
They won their championship 1935.
Yes, 1934 and 35. 34 they became.
Yes.
Yeah.
1935.
Yes.
That was a
You're
great
right.
team.
Yeah,
1930.
great team.
They won their first championship. 5 years it took them to the win championship.
Great
so that was
team.
answer one.
Damn it.
Question 2.
How many questions do we have?
I got 7, but I can
got a lot.
I can make any.
All right.
Which franchise has had the most names in its history?
Well, the Pistons. Go ahead.
Tom Mazawey.
It's the Wings.
It is the Wings.
They were the Falcons.
And this is their first. You got their second name right.
Yeah.
They had a first name when they first got purchased.
I'm trying. I know it.
The Tires?
No.
It's a cat. It's a big cat.
The
Panthers?
Jags?
It's like a panther. It's the Cougars.
The Cougars.
Ooh.
It's Cougars. They were the
Love 'em.
Detroit Cougars. Then they were the Detroit Falcons, which was also the name of Detroit's professional basketball team at the time.
Oh, wow.
And then they became the Red Wings because the team was purchased by none other than Norris, who took the name from
Jim Norris
of a Montreal League team, the something Willers, the Red
Victoria
Willers.
Cougars, right?
There
Victoria?
you go, Victoria Cougars. Look at the ads on it. So yes, it would have been the Red Wings. They had a total of 3 names. The Lions have had 2. The Pistons have had essentially 2, unless you count the Zollner Fort Wayne Pistons and then the Fort Wayne Pistons. So technically 3, but yes. So there we go, the Detroit Red Wings. Here we go. Which one of these is not a name?
Okay.
For Tiger Stadium at one point.
Oh, I know this.
At some point.
We got
Here
this.
we go. Is it Briggs Park, Navin Field, Bennett Park, or Boulevard Park?
Oh,
man.
Boulevard.
It is indeed Boulevard Park. Boulevard Park was the first place the Tigers played. It was right by Belle Isle, and then they went to Bennett Field, which was Tiger Stadium, and ever since then it's been a different name for Tiger Stadium.
Briggs Stadium.
So you have Briggs 1938,
Briggs and Navin.
Briggs in 38, Navin in 1912, and in 1961. Obviously, it turns into Tiger Stadium.
My favorite stadium of all time.
100%. Number 4. Which team? Oh, actually, hold on. How do I read this? What's the most championships won by Detroit franchise in the same year? Maz again.
I'm gonna guess 2.
You'd be incorrect.
I was gonna guess Wings and Pistons.
You'd be incorrect.
Would the Lions and Tigers and Red Wings in 1934-35 be correct?
Ryan freaking Ermanni. Like, all of that's correct. It's all 3 teams, and it is 34-35.
And the only reason I kind of know that, to be honest with you, is
that was a good point.
Well, just put it together because you said you just gave me 1935 Lions.
I
right?
did. I should have spaced the
question.
question.
And then remember at Tiger Stadium, you go to the old Tiger Stadium, they had the 4 pennants. So the years were right there for you: 1934, 1945, 1968, and then 1984. So
Look
that's
at
how I
this
remember
guy.
that. Look at that.
Yes, and it is indeed.
The Pistons weren't around, and the Red Wings.
The Pistons,
won the cup.
Look at this guy.
Look at that, baby.
It is 3.
What a year! Almost 100 years ago.
We got it right once. There you go. Check you out. All right, 4. Who is the youngest franchise of the 4? That's pretty easy.
Pistons.
I had to throw one in there. Pistons. Inception is 1937, but they became part of the NBA in 1949. Number 6. Which team has the fewest jerseys retired?
Oh, I got that one.
Ryan Ermanni.
The Lions?
You would be partially correct.
Okay. Oh, Fletch wants in on this.
Fletch.
Why do I feel like it's the Tigers?
No, you're partially correct.
So they're tied then. The Tigers and the Lions are the same?
No, he said the Tigers, right?
No, I said the Lions.
I said the Tigers.
You said the Tigers.
The Lions don't retire anybody's uniform.
True. All right, so you're wrong. You're partially correct. So you guys got to throw the other team.
I mean, the Wings and the Pistons, I feel like everybody's retired.
No.
Really? The Wings?
The Wings and the Lions both have 8 retired numbers.
Wow. What are they? Do you know?
Yes.
Well, that's all right. Don't worry.
I tell you the break. Yes, I do have them. It's right here. All
right. Question 7.
In terms of retired player, Hall of Fame players, the Red Wings got a ton.
Yeah.
And the Tigers have a ton. Tigers got a ton on both. So Red Wings both, Lions and Wings only have 8. Here you go. 1901, Tigers inaugural season. First season in MLB. It's 8 teams in the league. Who did they win their first game ever against? Maz, I directed to you.
Yankees.
Nah. But, I mean, it's only a couple teams, so just think of the old team.
Repeat the question.
Like, who did the Tigers win their first game against, their inaugural game? Their very first game ever as the Detroit Tigers, 1901. They played this team. They beat this team. And they're one of the original. There were 8 teams in the league at the time.
Red Sox?
Indians.
Those are all good guesses. It is. They're in the division. The Milwaukee Brewers. You know how they beat them? They were down 13-4 in the 9th inning and ended up winning 14-13.
Milwaukee was called the Brewers then?
They were. Or whatever their name was, they beat them.
Unbelievable. That's great trivia.
It was probably the Braves, Milwaukee Braves.
Great job, Bray. Good stuff. Bringing heat.
I took it back. I took it back, but it was fun.
Bringing heat. We love it. Hey, guys, a neutral location has been selected for the AFC Championship game. We'll get into that next. Yeah. Do you think it's fair?
Well, I did have one side note.
Oh, we'll do a side note next, too.
I did not mention. It was about the trivia stuff.
That we'll do a side note to the trivia next. We got time. But first, a message from Les Stanford. Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. That's right. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford, Buick, GMC. Same great service that customers have come to know. Go check them out. They're located on Woodward, just south of 9 miles, 6 miles away from us, by the way. Of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford on Michigan Avenue in the great city of Dearborn is been there, still strong. You can find the brand you want at lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
At Alta.
Uptime. It matters.
Uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you got a big project coming up, Alta Rentals got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Alta.
Matter.
Guys, we talked a lot about this yesterday. Is the way the NFL handled the DeMar Hamlin game involving the Bills and the Bengals, and it was that really deciding to call it a no contest. Essentially, the competition committee voted on how this AFC Championship situation was going to play out. So there is a location now. If, in fact, the Chiefs and the Bills play in the AFC Championship game. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta has been selected as the site of a potential Buffalo-Kansas City AFC Championship game. You know, I explain yourself, Maz.
The two outdoor teams that play in the cold. What the hell are you doing going indoors? Nobody wants to see those two teams indoors. Hopefully that never comes to fruition. I hope they don't play each other because I just want to see it at the home stadium. That's why you watch football, for excitement. I'm not going to watch a bunch of Atlanta people going to a game that they don't give a damn. Yeah, the teams are going to travel a little bit, the fans, but that's not right to the fans, if you ask me. It's a mess. I hope it doesn't come down to Kansas City against Buffalo because, damn, wouldn't you like to see it at Arrowhead or Rich Stadium and see some snow, cold weather? That's the way I want to watch my football. I hate indoor games. I do. Next year, the Lions play 12 dome games, which is good for them, by the way. Little side note to our 14-3 talk.
Yeah, right. That was fun yesterday. How do you feel about this, Bray?
It's an unprecedented situation. I mean, obviously what happened with the Bengals and the Bills, and obviously that led to that because the Bills didn't get a chance to maybe potentially be the number one seed. I don't know. I don't know. I think for Maz's sake, I understand what he's saying in terms of the fan base. Like, yeah, you want the fans to be able to travel. And it's not fair that, the Bills have to come all the way from Buffalo to go all the way down there. And in Kansas City, they have to go from Kansas City all the way to Atlanta. But for the teams, I mean, you're talking about two really good teams, two great offenses. You got them inside. The weather won't be a factor. So, I mean, I think truly the better team is going to win that game because there are no factors. There aren't anything that's going to happen. So, it sucks fan-wise, but, I mean, the excitement that you want to see, you're going to get a high-scoring game. I'll tell you that.
One of the things about this is I think if you were one of the people that said that game had to be canceled, I don't think you should really comment negatively about the solution. There is no playbook, for lack of a better way to say it, for how to handle fairly the way the NFL is moving forward with its playoff. How the NFL is fairly trying to decide what to do with the Buffalo Bills. Is it fair that Buffalo has to go to Kansas City to play a playoff game because one of their players nearly freaking died on the field and they had to cancel the game? The players couldn't continue on to play.
Yeah.
So should they be penalized for that?
No.
No, they shouldn't.
No,
they shouldn't. So I think while this is not ideal, show me a better situation. I mean, show me a better situation. Come up with a better solution. I say this a lot about Jared Goff. If you want Jared Goff gone, fine. Give me a better solution. What could the NFL have done differently than what they're doing now to fairly kind of move on with what happened on the field in Cincinnati that day?
How about an outdoor stadium in the middle between Kansas City and Buffalo?
But then
how about Lambeau Field?
But then you've got to go to availability and workers, and it's not just about, hey, give me your stadium.
Soldier Field.
Yeah, I don't. Ford Field was the likely destination, but they got something going on. They're replacing the turf or something like that.
Replacing the carpet. Exactly.
I'm with Ryan. I don't want to beat this one too dead because what can you do? Like, I mean, it sucks for. I will say this: it sucks for the fans, but it's unprecedented territory, and you know what? We'll just see. Maybe we won't get to it. And I think that's the big thing. Maybe we won't get to it.
Hey, I got another good story for you.
Okay.
Peyton Hillis. You guys remember Peyton Hillis?
Yeah.
I saw that this weekend.
I mean, here's a guy, he used to be a running back for the Cleveland Browns, and I think he jumped to another team after that. He was even on the Madden box one year. He was on the Madden, EA Sports Madden cover.
He was. It was in 2000. He was on the 2000.
He had a hell of a year. He was a big bruising running back. And he dove into the ocean to save his two kids who were in trouble, couldn't swim, drowning. And he took in a lot of water and a lot of sand in his lungs and has been fighting for his life for the past week. And finally got some good news today that he's hopefully getting better. As of last week, he was still coughing up sand.
That's incredible, man.
I just can't Listen, I'm an ocean guy. I love the ocean.
Not me.
I know. There's a lot of people that don't. You guys like your lakes.
Yep.
I like my ocean. But if you get caught like in an undertow and if you're not calm, it is not fun. It is one of the scariest things that they starts pulling you out and pulling you down, and it is not fun to go through. What this guy did to save his kids. If you go back into the 80s, remember Joe Delaney? He used to play running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. He couldn't swim. He dove in a lake to save a little boy from drowning. He saved him, and Joe died. It just reminds me of that, and I'm so happy that Peyton Hillis, who no one's been talking about because of Damar Hamlin, because he's a retired player and Damar happened on the field. But it's very scary. And so the NFL looks like they have two good stories to come out of what could have been two tragedies.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I know that just happened in former wrestler, remember Shai Gaspard, JB? Remember he saved his son? He said, take my son and don't take me. That happened, about 2-3 years ago?
Yep.
Same thing happened. Jumped in the ocean off in the Atlantic, jumped in and saved his child, said, take my son, don't worry about me, and then he died. I actually knew him.
God.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago. It was a big deal, especially for like wrestling fans, because he started off in the NFL, retired, then he went to pro wrestling. But I'm glad you brought that up. See, this is where social media and like people rear their naked head again. It's because when I saw that Peyton Hillis thing, I don't know. I'm like everybody else. We like to read comments because comments tells you, it always tells you how people feel. So I always read comments. I'm one of those guys. I can't help it. Like they took that comment about Patrick Hillis, who had a tremendous year in that 2009 year with the Cleveland Browns. I think he rushed for like 1,200. I think he had like 13 touchdowns. He had that amazing year.
He had a couple good years.
But then the comments instantly go back to, but why they not talking about him and blah, blah, blah. And if he wasn't on the field, I mean, it was like basically what happened with Damar Hamlin happened on national live TV in the largest spot during the week in the United States of America. What happened to Peyton Hillis, nobody knew about.
Correct.
Don't go on social media and make it about who's not getting it and why not. Just go on there and show some prayers.
That's it.
Say, hey, prayers up for Peyton Hillis. Hey, man, I wish him and his family, I hope he makes it back safe. This is where we get better. Stop trying to compare it. Stop trying to turn this into something different. Just simply say, hey, man, my heart goes out to him and his family. Like I pray that that's what we got to get better at. We got to stop trying to compare everything. Stop trying to make everything a little bit of friction to get other people riled up. Just simply say, my prayers are with Peyton Hillis and his family. That's all you had to say.
Well said, Braylon Edwards. We're going to get back. We'll wrap it up.
Dana White.
I got an anniversary for you guys, too. I'm going to bring up. And Detroit fans are going to be all over this.
And you also wanted to give some love to USC Trojan, who passed away today.
Charles White.
And we'll do that next as well. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment on your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway's got the giant slide, the winter bumper cars, and of course, that indoor arcade. Plus, you can always grab a drink at the Lodge before or after any Wings or Pistons home game. So shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with Decked Out Detroit. And of course, you can always check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hey, before we get to this Dana White situation, I do want to, Maz, I want to give you an opportunity to speak. You were really broken up about this earlier today, Charles White.
I was. Charles White, one of the greatest running backs in college football history and what could have been in the NFL. He did lead the league in his first year with the Rams. He played with USC, won the Heisman in '79. They won the Rose Bowl. He's the guy who they had such a great stable of running backs. And he is one of them. Obviously started with O.J., goes to Marcus Allen. Matter of fact, Mike Garrett started with Mike Garrett, then O.J. Matter of fact, he was on the same team. Charles White and Marcus Allen were on the same freaking team. They beat Ohio State in that great Rose Bowl game. I watched like half of it today on from YouTube just to see him again. The way he would dive over for touchdowns. He was like Superman. And he got into a lot of trouble with drugs and alcohol, and his NFL career flamed out. He's with the Rams, #1 pick. He did lead the league in rushing, I did mention, but he flamed out really quick, and USC hired him to come work there. He was like an ambassador, and he's been working there for quite a while until about 10 years ago. They let him go because he started doing things that weren't like him. He wasn't showing up for work. He was sleeping in the locker room. He was doing all kinds of stuff. Well, it turns out he had dementia and from CTE, and he's in his 60s, early 60s, this guy. And his family put him in a assisted living home for the past few years. They couldn't control him anymore. He would leave the house. He would take the car. He would drive out into the desert until the car ran out of gas. He did so many things that they had to put him in this home to keep him safe. And then he winds up getting cancer. And the worst part is USC got rid of him, and they never let him back in. And just last year or the year prior, they had this big reunion at USC for all their great players, and they didn't invite him back. And I read this great piece by Bill Plaschke of the LA Times. It's out on Twitter. It's under my Twitter if you want to see it. It's a great article. It just tells you about a great athlete that did some bad things, and then obviously CTE. I can't say it enough. My favorite freaking athletes in the NFL, and the NFL don't take care of them, and it breaks my heart. Rest in peace, Charles White, one of the best. Give it a listen, give it a watch on Twitter. Bill Plaschke, LA Times. I have it on my Twitter, but rest in peace, Charles White, #12.
Well said, Tom Mazawey. And man, I don't know where to really go after that. I mean, that was really heartfelt. And
I feel like part of my childhood is gone again.
Beautiful.
That's the way I look at it.
You can't go to Dana White.
No, I mean, I don't know if you can at this point.
It was like a big thing for me, and like my dad growing up was the Phantom Touchdown. The Phantom Touchdown, obviously, is Charles White's 1978 Rose Bowl, Michigan, and obviously I just showed you. Yeah. It's clear as day. You see the balls at like the 2, and he's in the end zone, and that was kind of like the running joke. But now that Charles White is gone, like it's no longer a reason to mention the Phantom Touchdown. It's sad that individuals have to go through that, but this is the real deal. That's why we urge the NFL to get better and better and better with their treatment, their care, their facilities, their teams. Get better at taking care of individuals. I know that you give them money. I know that you give them a lot of times in situations around coin that can change their lives. But there's other stuff around it, because there's no reason why this guy is going through all that. You don't understand that there's something more there. And I think that's what I would urge the NFL to get better at. Is there something more there? We watched Junior Seau. Like, we watched him self-destruct.
Yep, another USC Trojan.
We watched it. Like, we watched it, especially those guys that are really in the know. They watched Junior Seau. Like, he was doing those things, his last couple of years in the league. So I just urge the NFL to get better.
And USC turned their back on him.
Yeah,
that's what kills me.
And
the
colleges
most.
Get better.
Let's table the Dana White stuff till tomorrow, and just stick with this for 1 second if we could, because I don't know how we transition.
Yeah, it's not transition.
I hope it's almost like the NFL, the mafia, does a better job of taking care of their own than the NFL.
They do. You're taken care of for life.
Yeah,
and your family.
And one of the guys that I'm thinking of right now, you just mentioned taking care of. DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah.
Okay, think about DeMar Hamlin for a second, okay? DeMar Hamlin, what's his contract right now?
He makes a couple $100,000 a year.
That's the thing. Okay, DeMar Hamlin makes a couple $100,000 a year. I just want to contract. DeMar Hamlin, 4-year, $3.6 million deal. So basically, he's got $1 million, $1.5 million over a 4-year period.
Yep.
It's very nice. It's very good money. But if he doesn't play football ever again, is the NFL and all those thoughts and prayers and all that love for DeMar,
where does that go?
What's that? What are you going to do with that? You can't take care of your mother with this.
Yeah.
It's all great. I don't want to diminish that.
Yeah.
I don't. But take care of the young man. You know what I mean? Take care of the young man. I wish I said this before, and maybe I'm a bad person for saying this, but I'll say it again. I'm a pretty transparent guy. That $9 million that was raised on the GoFundMe for the toys,
that's not for DeMar.
I would, if I can't play football again, I am keeping half that money at least. Maybe half goes to charity, and I'm keeping half of it. If I'm DeMar Hamlin. I'm not doing anything with that money just yet because just how I feel about it. If this guy is injured, has no health care, and cannot play football, he's not tenured. This is his second year in the league.
Right.
He's got no tenure. He's got no health care. So who's going to take care of DeMar Hamlin? Are the Buffalo Bills going to have DeMar Hamlin pay the freight on DeMar Hamlin's health care for the rest of his life? No. So is the NFL? No. So that money that was raised in that GoFundMe, I would seriously take at least half of that if I can't play again, and try to start some sort of business or some sort of move forward with my life with that money.
Or maybe the Bills or NFL will finally wake up and say, all right, we're going to do this going forward, and take care of that player and players like him going forward.
Long story short, everybody doesn't have what they need to get over situations. We had Spencer Haywood come in the studio, and Spencer Haywood talked to us about, the Showtime Pistons, Showtime Lakers, He talked about winning time. He talked about his time during that era. He talked about, hey, I was doing this. I had two bad years. He said he got off of it. He said he kicked it. Well, not everybody has as strong as Spencer Haywood. Not everybody has the backing and the family that Spencer Haywood had. That's why it becomes important to have these systems in play for the NFL and for franchises, because not everybody has a strong will as Spencer Haywood where they can kick it, and they've been kicking it for 30 plus years. Not everybody has that willpower or that support system.
All right, guys, good show today. Back to wrap up the show the week tomorrow. Braylon, get us out of here. I'm off to the Red Wings, baby.
Oh,
hey man, let us take some videos. Let us know how to get us
break the streak, man.
Yeah, baby, break the streak. I'm getting out of here.
We'll just end with that. Break the streak.
Break the streak.
Break the streak.
Let's go, Red Wings. Let's go. See you tomorrow.
We're out of here.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.